Hey everybody, Everett's Live Music giving a shout out again on the 20th here of August, following up on that storm, that was approaching. I had that ring around the sun, I mentioned the other day, and I think it had to maybe do with the storm. So I'm watching the clouds for the last couple of days, and it went from that sparsely clouded sky that morning to a densely clouded sky in the ring, obviously around the sun. Just the sun went away. And it hasn't returned yet, and the predicted hurricane off the coast of California and like the Baja area of Baja California of Mexico. So down into Mexico there, that whole area, that's where it was supposed to come up through here, and it might be an indicator of that. So you would share that, right, with each other. And if you went outside right now, it's like 7:30 at night, but if you look at the clouds, man, they're moving at a different level. Right now you can see it so well. There's two systems that are happening at the same time. So one's moving and the other one's moving as well, but it's moving much slower. So as they move together, this one starts going much faster and this one's kind of going, but it's moving at a. And that's that idea of those fronts that hit one another. Sometimes it's head on, and one goes, a high pressure warm front's going to go up over the cooler, wetter, cold fronts, low pressure systems. And anyways, and as that happens, and then you see it around you, you're watching it happen. It's pretty cool. This has been a couple days of it where it's been like right in my face. And I've been watching it, and the moisture has accompanied much of it. We haven't gotten a whole lot. Like, I think we're supposed to get like the 4 inches, but 4 inches of rain, that'd be like super amount for here. Super amount. All that's like what they normally get in a year. More than what you normally get in the whole Vegas Valley in a year. That's what they predicted. I don't know if it's going to happen. But I wanted to follow up on that. I think it's pretty interesting. I'm going to cancel out this weekend and move on, but I've been talking weather, different pressure systems, and then we got into a little bit of talking yesterday about like the nitrogen and the carbon cycle. I'll touch a little more on that now, being like, the general. It's weird, we always rake everything up and we take it away. In its natural process, you would not rake anything up, in that's where that circle of life keeps going as it decomposes and feeds the next cycle of life for that tree or however it is. And there's an NPK level. I would think that'd be cool to learn. Nitrogen, your phosphorus, and your potassium levels of the soil, which are going to determine, if you were a farmer, if you're going to be able to grow well. Because remember, I was touching on that too, was the nitrogen. But NPK would not be foreign to anybody. You'd be like, yeah, I kind of understand. It's a certain level of those 3 elements that helps determine the growth of many crops and plants, and and then just that whole cycle of that thing happening. So you would make that a point, and like I said before, like scientists know, and we don't all have to be farmers, but it's something to know how it happens and where it's coming from and stuff. So you try to make that a part of what and who you are, right? And you restrict yourself to taking more, man, than you need, and more than what your people are going to be able to need, more than what you can't make it happen where you're moving to places and without the proper necessities. Water being one of the most important ones. If you don't have enough water, dude, you gotta think about that. It's not a build it and they will come thing, but the ideas of some of that other stuff about the growth and the life and the cycle of all of that and what it needs, and then you get into other aspects of it. I think it's really cool. I really do. I think that's all so awesome. I watched this storm roll through this week, here, and we're actually approach and then roll through this weekend, and it's going to continue on, I think, a couple of days now. So it's really cool to have spoke about it and then see it happen before me, and I'm kind of observing, really enjoying like temperatures of 80 degrees, man. Even cooler. I think it was like 75 today. It was unbelievably cool for this time of year. It was a huge reflection of some of the stuff we're talking about and everything that I don't understand, but we would talk back and forth, lay hits back and forth to one another, and then get a better understanding of what's happening. Because as I work in water, and I can provide a lot of facts about that, like it freezes, it expands 9%. If it turns to a gas, it's going to expand 1,600 times percent. 1,600%. It's amazing stuff. And then, like, when you learn to take the time, and I think you like put your time and effort into one of these subject matters. If you're talking about the earth and stuff, or you're talking about soils, there's pretty much clay, silt, and sand. And when I say that, you'd have to think to yourself, okay, well, there's a lot of other things. There is. There's much more. There's a lot of organic matter, and the organic matter that we let out of the back door, right? As every animal does. And I always laugh about it, because like when the dogs are shitting out there and on the park or something, and you're picking it up, I pick it up, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna bag this for you, I'm gonna take it to the lab or something. I make a joke to them about it, and we think nothing of it, and when they do it, their little red rocket might come out. You don't say anything. I'm totally, I mock who we are sometimes, because if you ever caught somebody, I don't think taking a dump would be cool in public, but taking a leak or something, if it's ever really frowned on, I'll never be, I don't know, I guess maybe I'm a little weird. I don't mind to share that even. It's not like I think we all should be doing it, but it is funny that the animals, man, they have, I talked yesterday about having a level of consciousness, right? So consciousness, right? It's like being woke. And that woke might even be a word for it. I don't know if they're using that for that yet, but to be conscious is to, you're alive. I don't think a lot of the other species, right? They actually even really realize they're here, but they have so much to share with us, so much to teach us. They are truly a part of all of the fabric of life, and they don't want anything more, and they don't need, for the most part, the way you see them interact with each other's species. Some are a little more aggressive, but it's more of a level of just instinct, and we are above that. So if your instinctual behavior becomes something that is destructive, right, I think you've lost a level of consciousness, man. I ain't got no problem talking about it. No. I would definitely like something hit back, but I would be happy to share it. But I do see that in them, but they have so much to show you in the way that they unconditional love, and yeah, there is that, but there's also a need to, I think on one level or another, they are kind of conscious, but just not where we're at. It's a gift at the same time. It's kind of like it could be a curse. Not like a black magic, but I mean, it just could be, something that's abused. Anyway, so we're back to that, the ideas and the consciousness, and then the circle of life and stuff. And I thoroughly enjoy all of this. I'd like some more hits back, and somebody to pick up that I've sent this out to, at least my YouTube address. So, check it out, pick it up, hit me back. NPK, man, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. It's things in the soil. But we got back to the, to the different levels of soil too, man. You talk about that. Clay. Clay is one form of soil. I mean, it just doesn't absorb water real well. In fact, it expands and it gets denser. That's why you would put it around if you had a well, you'd cap your well. And in my business, that's what I would help with, the ideas of all that. When you cap that well and you seal it and you're drawing water from underground, when you cap it, you're going to cap it and spread like 50 feet way out, all around. All the way around with clay. So when the water hits, it's dispersed away from the well. Because we don't want everything around us connecting and hooking up with that, man. Back in 2000 in Ontario, what was it, like Walkerton, I think, off the top, man. I might have the city wrong. The whole town was infected, man, from a farm. In like 93 and 94 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That one was huge, like 400,000 people infected. I think the Ontario one was E. coli, and I think the Milwaukee one was cryptosporidium for the most part. It's just different organisms that are parasites, waterborne pathogens that get into us and cause, the sickness of diarrhea and different forms of that. It's unfortunate, the throwing up and all of it, dysentery. But that's what some of us are in, man. We're here to lend our hand, and we're playing music, and we're trying, and we're reaching out. Reach back. Like,